Distinguished citizens, we're now moving into the hearing and arbitration schedule of the People's Court. The first case on the court list is between Mr. FIDELIS as claimant against Mr. OGUEGO as defendant. In this People's Court arbitration proceedings, the claim of FIDELIS was duly served through NIPO's courier service on Saturday, the 13th day of July 2013 on the defendant, Mr. OGUEGO. That being the case, that puts this case before the People's Court proper. The facts of the claim of Mr. FIDELIS Odo against Mr. OGUEGO are as follows. My name is Mr. FIDELIS. I live at number 68A Onwuta Close, Ubene, Ababa, Nike, Enugu. I was employed by Mr. OGUEGO as a program officer in May 2010 and was given the appointment letter in August 2010. But this appointment letter was terminated in February 24, 2011 against the policy of the organization. He attached two documents which we call Annexure 2 and 4. My said appointment was terminated because I declined to work for Prescription Learning Center, PLC in short form, with the same appointment letter from an outfit called HRVC, and I was given 5 days to quit when I did not commit any offense. I wrote series of letters to the organization to pay me my outstanding wage, which I did not get a response to. He also attached to the claim two documents showing the correspondence between himself, Mr. FIDELIS, sent to Mr. OGUEGO, which we marked as Annexure 3 and 4. On January 24, 2012, I wrote a letter to Public Complaints Commission. He attached a copy of that letter as Annexure 5. And I also copied National Human Rights Commission, further sent to Citizens Rights and Mediation Center in Enugu. On February 3rd, 2012, the Public Complaints Commission invited Mr. OGUEGO in respect to the petition, which he turned down. He annexed that letter of invitation given to OGUEGO, which we also call Annexure 6. On April 3rd, 2012, he responded to the commission asking them that I should present the breakdown of my claims. He did not attach this document. On May 4th, 2012, the Public Complaints Commission forwarded his letter to me. On 9th of May, 2012, I replied, answered the letter with the breakdown of the money I was claiming. This breakdown was attached, and we call it Annexure 8, Annexure 7. In April 2013, I further wrote a petition to Citizens Right and Mediation Center, Enugu, Ministry of Justice, to know why Mr. Larry OGUEGO has not responded to my letters through them on the 11th of April 2013. The Citizen Right replied inviting me to a meeting on 9th May 2013, but all to no avail. Mr. Larry OGUEGO turned down the invitation. Mr. Odo, as the claimant, is claiming as follows: that Mr. Larry OGUEGO should pay me 35,000 naira he owed me. After we have sent a copy of this claim to the given address of Mr. Larry OGUEGO, which our courier service confirmed to us that it was delivered and was never returned, Mr. Larry OGUEGO neglected to use this opportunity as a human rights activist who believes in due process to respond to the claim of Mr. Odo. That is the case as presented. And I will use the opportunity so that we can be guided for the forum judge, who is privy to the case file and facts presented, to deliver his verdict before we will call on the jury to look at it and see if we will get a proper confirmation of what the People's Court think about this case. The forum judge, sir, deliver your verdict.
Thank you. Fellow citizens, the forum judge speaking. This is the judgment of the forum judge. The defendant, Mr. Larry OGUEGO, was duly served through NIPO's courier service on Saturday, 13th July 2013. There was no response from the said defendant, and the claimant should be given justice on the basis of his own petition only. The relief of the complainant or the claimant is simple: that the defendant should pay him 35,000 naira, being the claimant's outstanding entitlement while with the defendant. This relief should be granted. Thank you.
Thank you, the forum judge. I now call on the presenter to now call in the jury.
The second case.
Distinguished participants, the next case on the list of the People's Court is a claim between Mr. ANWUSI Vincent as the claimant against Trust Fund Pensions PLC in Abuja as defendant. In this claim, the People's Court served the defendant duly through NIPO's courier service on Saturday, the 13th day of July 2013. This is the facts as presented by the claimant, Mr. Vincent ANWUSI. I live at number 1 Umudiopai Street in Ababa, Enugu. I was employed as a contract staff of Intercontinental Bank PLC, and on 31st day of January 2012, I was disengaged because of the merger between Intercontinental Bank and Access Bank PLC. After 6 months of my disengagement, I went to Trust Fund Pensions for them to pay me my retirement savings with them. They gave me some documents to fill, and the one to collect from my former employer, Intercontinental Bank PLC, which I did by going to Lagos to get the required documents. After submitting the documents to the Trust Fund Pensions PLC, they gave me another which my employer or former employer will sign, which I went back to Lagos to get them to sign same. After getting all the necessary documents, I was hoping they will pay me, but nothing happened. On one of my visits to the office of the Trust Fund Pensions PLC, one of the ladies, no name was given, said I should negotiate with her on behalf of her colleagues on how much I will give them for them to fast track my payment, and I refused such offer, and she said okay, that I should wait endlessly for my payment. And it is over a year now, and true to her words, nothing has happened. Mr. ANWUSI Vincent, as the claimants, claims as follows: I want Pension Trust Fund to pay me my retirement benefits as soon as possible because I have filled or fulfilled all the necessary requirements. The People's Court diligently made sure that this complaint or petition reached the defendant in Abuja, the Trust Fund Pensions PLC. As is the tradition of impunity in Nigeria, they chose not to respond to the petition. This complaint was never returned, and this is the petition of the claimant before the People's Court. I will now call upon the forum judge who has perused this case and the facts presented to deliver his verdict before we now call in the jury. Mr. Forum Judge, sir.
Thank you, Foreign Advocate. Fellow citizens, I am once again the Foreign Judge. This is my judgment. The defendant, Trust Fund Pension PLC, was duly served through NIPO's service on the 13th of July 2013. There was no response from the Trust Fund Pension PLC, and therefore the claimant, Mr. ANWUSI Vincent, should be given justice on the basis of his petition or process. The claimant's relief is that the Trust Fund Pension PLC should pay him his retirement benefits as soon as possible. My judgment is that the defendant, Trust Fund Pension PLC, should compute the plaintiff's benefits and pay him immediately. Thank you.
That is the judgment of the forum judge. The presenter, please call in the jury.
All right, it's another opportunity for you to air your views.
Distinguished citizens, the last case on the court list for today. The case is the case of Mr. Abia Golden Oluchukwu, claimant, against Mr. Chijoke Neji, alias Magic Movies, defendant. This claim was brought by Mr. Abia Golden Oluchukwu. Abia Golden Oluchukwu is the managing director of principal consultant of Digi Gold Technical Services Limited, with head office at number 37B Kenyatta Road, Okonano, Enugu. He brought the petition against Mr. Chijoke Nnaji, and he gave Neji, and he gave the address of Mr. Chijoke Neji, alias Magic Movies, in Lagos. The People's Court Registry took steps and sent this petition by courier to the said defendant, Mr. Chijoke Neji. Unfortunately, this petition could not be delivered because wrong address was given by Mr. Oluchukwu to the registry. We regret that we could not deliver this claim, and we contacted the claimant, who apologized and has now sought another address for the defendant. Pursuant to the provisions of the law that you cannot judge a man without hearing from him, as the forum advocate, this claim is now withdrawn back to the registry for proper service and is not going to be heard today. We apologize that due to not giving us the proper address of the claimant, we cannot deny his right to be heard. The forum judge, sir, this matter is now withdrawn from the court list, and we will now come back to the presenter so that he can now do justice to the next item on the issue before we now look at the messages from the People's Court and then the judgment, and we announce the winner of the radio for today.
All right.
Judgment in the People's Court today will be presented after the introduction by the forum advocate, so that the final judgment will be given. The final judgment in the general petition is that 5 people that called are all in support of the judgment given by the forum judge. And we need a situation where we also have to assist ASU. ASU need to get their act together and make their students, who are their primary constituency, to believe in them, and also make the stakeholders, the parents and guardians and the society at large, by the civil society, to understand that the greatest asset we have as a people, a community, is our educational institution. It is not for ASU only to be fighting to fix the decaying conditions we have in our education institution. We, parents and students, must also partner with them so that we will use all available means we have lawfully to make sure that our representatives and those in government will learn to keep and abide by agreement. That was the verdict of the forum judge, and the entire participants in the forum agreed with him. More so in case number 1, the jury have said that our common friend and human rights activist Mr. Larry OGUEGO has a very terrible case. His reputation is on the line, and he must make urgent repair in his character so that he will go and pay the claimant who brought him to the People's Court, that is Mr. FIDELIS, his money, before the entire community will now know him that he is not a man to be trusted. That is the general judgment in that case. In the second case, involving the Trust Fund Pension PLC, the forum judge and the jury agreed without any dissenting voice that the trust fund should pay. And we will say further that the agencies of the ICPC and EFCC should investigate the fraudulent activities of these pension managers and make sure that we will restore hope to the people. There's so much impunity in the land, and the people must rise. Otherwise, people will no longer have faith in the institutions. The general judgment in that matter is that they should pay them with interest. And I am calling on Mr. ANWUSI to please come back and give us the name of the woman who has threatened or who has intimidated you and asked you that you should arrange to give them bribe. The entire jury wants to know the name of the woman so that a proper sanction or petition should be brought against us so we can flush such criminals out of our system. That is the general perspective of the people's verdict in today's hearing. And as soon as the presenter allows us, we will now call the name of the winner of the radio for this session of the People's Court.
All right, that's the people's verdict, and any moment from now you will get to know who won the radio. One radio was up. Somebody has already taken it. It's just that the person doesn't know himself yet. So, Mr. Ifan, you can go ahead to let us know who won the radio today.
As the advocate of the People's Court in this episode of the People's Court, I am humbled to announce the winner in the active participation by the jury. The radio goes to Mr. Magnus Ekweme of Iwolo. Mr. Magnus Ekweme, you are the proud winner of our electronic radio, and I have now so decreed. Now rise.
All right.